this is an iHeart podcast.
Let's be real. Life happens. Kids spill. Pets shed. And accidents are inevitable. Find a sofa that can keep up at washablesofas.com. Starting at just $699, our sofas are fully machine washable inside and out. So you can say goodbye to stains and hello to worry-free living. Made with liquid and stain-resistant fabrics. They're kid-proof, pet-friendly, and built for everyday life. Plus, changeable fabric covers let you refresh your sofa whenever you want. Need flexibility? Our modular design lets you rearrange your sofa anytime to fit your space, whether it's a growing family room or a cozy apartment. Plus, they're earth-friendly and trusted by over 200,000 happy customers. It's time to upgrade to a stress-free, mess-proof sofa. Visit washablesofas.com today and save. That's washablesofas.com. Offers are subject to change, and certain restrictions may apply.
America is back, thanks to President Trump and Leader John Thune's working family tax cuts. No tax on tips or overtime. Real relief for every American up early and home late. And they protected Medicaid for Americans, not illegals. Senate Republicans got President Trump's conservative agenda done. Securing the border, finishing the wall, bringing manufacturing jobs back home, making America great again. Thank Leader John Thune and Senate Republicans for delivering President Trump's agenda.
Coming up next, our final news roundup and information overload hour.
All right, news roundup, information overload hour. Toll free. Our number is 800-941-SEAN if you want to be part of the program. Well, in keeping with spreading false lies and peddling conspiracy theories, the left seems fixated on this notion, this idea that the only reason Stephen Colbert got fired is because of Donald Trump. No, he got fired because his show sucks. He's not funny. The audience attrition levels have been massive. He has very, very low viewership. And the worst part is he's losing $40 to $50 million a year. Now, you don't survive in television. I will have completed 30 years on the Fox News Channel as of October, assuming I live that long. And I can tell you that that's the formula, the way it's always been, the way it always will be. He failed. Jimmy Kimmel similarly is failing. He's on official cancellation watch. And that would go the same for Jimmy Fallon. And that would go the same for that hard-hitting news show, The View. Their ratings are in the toilet, and I'm sure they're probably losing money too. So that's what happens in television, like it or not. Now, the question with Colbert is he says that they came to a mutual agreement that his last show will be in May of 26. That's next year. But if he keeps going out there night after night after night, trashing the company that gives him a paycheck that's going to lose $40 or $50 million this year, they may just cancel it sooner. I wouldn't be shocked if it happened by next week. Listen to what he's saying about his new bosses.
Wow, hold on. Plus they're paying his legal fees, 16 plus 20, 36. That means by bending the knee, they lost like $40 million this year. They better watch out. They better watch out. They might get canceled. For purely financial reasons. Purely. The present owners are denying that additional $20 million, which I hope is true. Because could you imagine how angry people would be? Last year, Paramount laid off 2,000 employees, then cut another several hundred just last month, firing that many people, and then handing over $36 million to a guy who's putting your neighbors in alligator camps, all because of a lawsuit that your own lawyers said was completely without merit. If that's true, it would make CBS look morally bankrupt. Also bankrupt.
Anyway, joining us now, I have no idea why I like this guy. I really don't. On paper, I shouldn't even like him at all. Chris Hahn of the ever-growing Chris Hahn Show, now with a whopping 15 affiliates nationwide. He's the host of the Aggressive Progressive podcast. You're still on radio stations, right? How many stations now?
I think you're right. I'm 15 or 20, something like that, mostly in the Northeast.
But he's better known as a former aide to one of the angriest people in Washington, who, if he got primaried by AOC, would get clobbered, and that is Senate Minority Leader Chucky Schumer. You know he'd get clobbered, right? You do understand that. We'll get to that in a minute. So think hard about your answer.
We do
All right.
take on that, I believe. So,
So you've been a guest over the years many times on this program, and you know that how TV and radio works. You have your own radio program. And if you have a show and you're being paid money to do that show every day, and your show is losing money for your partners, for your network or your syndicator, whatever it happens to be, and your ratings are going progressively down because you're not funny and you're supposed to be a comedy show, and people don't watch your show anymore, and you've lost a massive amount of audience, what happens in that scenario?
First of all, you would take a hit. I don't know that you...
No.
Steve.
Slow down. What happens in television if your ratings sink so drastically and dramatically like Colbert's have?
I've never seen a number one show get canceled. And it's the number one show.
Ding, ding, ding. No, it's not the number one show.
It is.
Greg Gutfeld smokes him.
Greg Gutfeld's on.
He smokes.
He is not on at 11:30.
Okay.
So
the numbers that he has compared to Letterman and Leno when he inherited the show, he's lost 2/3 of the audience that Letterman formerly had on that show. He's losing $40 to $50 million a year for the network. And guess what? The worst thing you can say about a comic, and I can admit, I'll tell you who's funny. I think Jon Stewart can be very, very funny, bitingly so. The same thing with Bill Maher can be funny. He's very smart. I disagree with a lot of what he says. Both of them have gone after me, and I have actually laughed at what they've said because they're funny. Stephen Colbert is not funny.
Well, look, I'm glad that you could take a joke. I wish we all could take jokes. I could take a joke. I mean, I come on here, you joke on me. But look, I mean, everyone in broadcast media has lost market share because people don't watch TV the way they used to. They can stream.
Is Donald Trump responsible for his firing, or is it low ratings and loss of revenue responsible?
I think that it's a combination of the two. I think
if his ratings were high or higher than or as high as it was when David Letterman had the show, and he was making $50 million a year profit for the network, would he have been fired?
Of course not, but nobody is doing David Letterman.
Okay. I hate to tell you, we're doing better than we were doing years ago on the Fox News channel. It's like every year we just keep growing thanks to this great audience that we have. So, but, have we had down years? Yeah, but nothing that resembles the precipitous decline in audience attrition numbers that he has. Why can't you just acknowledge a simple truth?
I think late night viewing is very, very different than prime time viewing at this point. People are watching Colbert on YouTube the next.
But why have people tuned out late night comedy? Why are they tuning out in droves?
Well, people's viewing habits have changed. You don't stay up till.
Wrong. They're not funny. If Johnny Carson were alive, or Johnny Carson took over that show would do much better. You agree with that? Or Jay Leno?
I am a comic myself, you know this, and I happen to think that Steve.
Wait a minute, now that's a joke, right?
No, I'm an improv comic. Why do you think I did so well on your show all these years? Because
well, you got to go watch my gig that I did with Jimmy Fallon, Punchlines and Patriots. It's on FoxNation.com, and tell me how you think I did.
I will take a look, and I will let you know.
We sold out Ruth Eckerd Hall in Clearwater, Florida, and we had a rip-roaring, fun night.
What was the average age of the audience member, like 75 or?
No, it was, we had young people, middle-aged people, older people, we had everybody. Just like the demographics of this show, it's all across the spectrum.
My grandmother retired to Clearwater. It's a beautiful beach. I love it.
Well, she should have come to my show. I would have given her a free seat. Well, and you're a liberal. You love free stuff.
She died 4 years ago, but my mother is.
All right, now you're making me feel like crap. My mother moved to Clearwater. Oh, but she died. I mean, tell me after the fact. Make me sound like a jerk. I am genuinely sorry. I lost my mother a long time ago too. It sucks. All right, next question.
Sean, that was my grandmother at the time. My mother's still very much alive, lives in.
Oh, your grandmother moved there. Okay, I misunderstood. I'm sorry you lost your grandma. Listen, it's going to be 30 years next March when I lost my father and my mother not long thereafter. It sucks to lose people you love. All right, let's concede that point. Let's move on. Chucky Schumer, Kathy Hochul, Hakeem Jeffries, I argue, are deathly afraid of Zoran Mamdani, Marxist Mamdani, as we refer to him on this show. They are afraid to speak out against global Intifada. They're afraid to speak out about him wanting government-run grocery stores and that billionaires shouldn't exist and that he wants to raise taxes, especially in whiter neighborhoods. Why won't they speak out about those fundamental things? Because I know the answer, and I know you know the answer, but you're not going to tell me the truth because you're a Chucky Schumer acolyte and disciple.
Well, you know there are government-run grocery stores in red states where there are food deserts, and there are food deserts in New York City, and everybody's been talking about having to fix it. And he says, look, I'll subsidize a grocery store in areas where there are food deserts. Okay. I mean, I think that happens in Florida.
Okay, you're missing my overall point, and you're diverting on a purpose, which is what you do. And I'm trying to get you to answer the question.
Yeah.
You and I know that in real life, deep in his heart, Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, Kathy Hochul, all of these New York politicians want nothing to do with Mamdani, but they're scared to death to take him on. They're scared to death to call out the squad. You know, squad members, in my view, virulently anti-Semitic. Why? Why are they so afraid of their own radicals in their party?
Well, look, first of all, Mamdani hasn't won anything yet. He won a primary. There is still an election to be had. It's right now a four-way race, and in a four-way race, anything can happen.
So right now would be the time to speak out if you had moral clarity and courage, wouldn't it?
Actually, if you're a big-time politician and you speak out right now, you give more oxygen and more legitimacy to candidates you might want to beat.
So if Chuck Schumer says, I can't vote for somebody that won't condemn the global Intifada, and that wants to tax people based on their race, that's a bad thing for Chuck Schumer to do? Is it okay? Are you okay with his unwillingness to condemn global Intifada? Are you okay with his willingness to tax white neighborhoods more than other neighborhoods?
Chuck has condemned global.
I asked you if you're okay with it.
Am I okay with what? Him not Intifada?
You see, all you do is run out the clock. Pay close attention. Keep up. You're a talk show host.
Yeah.
Why? Okay. Will you speak out against Mamdani yourself? And will you speak out against his refusal to condemn global Intifada? And will you speak out against his plan to tax whiter neighborhoods more money?
I believe if he does not condemn global Intifada, he should not be mayor of New York City.
Are you okay with his position to tax people based on their race?
Well, he didn't say he was going to tax people based on their race. He said
he said he's going to tax the whiter neighborhoods more.
The richer, whiter neighborhoods and the property tax issue.
Well, that's is that or is that not taxing people, a factor of which based on race?
That was a very dumb thing to say. But
what would you call it? There's a word for it, isn't there?
Yeah. It is a dumb.
What is the word that I'm thinking of?
You're suggesting that it was a racist quote.
Well, let me ask you, if a candidate ran and they said they want to tax African American neighborhoods more, or Hispanic neighborhoods more, or Asian American neighborhoods more, would that be racist in your view?
Yeah, just as if somebody said, I bet that air traffic.
So you're saying Mamdani's policies are racist?
I'm saying that selecting things based on race can be racist, like saying that an air traffic controller.
I'm not asking if you think it can be. Is his policy as stated racist?
No, it's not. He's talking about neighborhoods. It is.
Okay, so if you say you're going to tax richer African American neighborhoods more, would that be racist?
Again, if you're talking about the value of the property and not the people who live there, I think it's a dumb thing to say. Is it borderline? Is it racist? I don't know. I don't think so.
You really don't think so?
No, I don't think when he said he was going to touch richer, whiter neighborhoods that I didn't.
Would you advise Chuck Schumer just to have courage of his convictions and speak out against this guy? Would you advise Kathy Hochul to speak out against this guy? Would you advise Hakeem Jeffries to speak out against this guy?
I think they've got to view the landscape of this election and see where it's going. Because I don't think his victory is assured in New York. I think Cuomo can win. I think Sliwa can win. I do not believe Adams can win. But I do believe that there's a path for Cuomo and Sliwa to get elected here.
Quick break, right back more with Chris Hahn on the other side of the break. 800-941-SEAN is our number. Also, your calls coming up this Friday as we continue. All right, how many times have you told someone, if it ain't broke, don't fix it? Now, that's great advice for most things, but not so much for your cell phone. Look, likely over time, the battery will fade, the processor can't keep up, and maybe it's even fallen in the toilet one too many times. Now, fortunately, thanks to Pure Talk, your cell phone is something you can replace without feeling guilty. When you switch to Pure Talk this month, they're going to give you a Samsung Galaxy A36 for free with a $35 qualifying plan. Just $35 a month for talk and text and data and a free Samsung phone with scratch-resistant Gorilla Glass and a battery that lasts all day. It's all on America's most dependable 5G network. Look, supporting companies like Pure Talk is a good thing. Now make the switch. It's simple, it's fast, it's easy. Go to puretalk.com/Sean, S-E-A-N, to get your free phone today. puretalk.com/Sean, S-E-A-N. Make the switch to my wireless company, America's wireless company, Pure Talk. Hey, do you wake up every morning wondering how pain is going to impact your day? Well, Alicia used to, but guess what? Not anymore. Let me tell you her Relief Factor story. Now, after long days of working double shifts at the grocery store, well, 52-year-old Alicia, she could barely walk. She was literally limping to and from her bed, had 2 bad knees, was not getting any rest. She needed relief. Enter Relief Factor. 2 days in, and the pain decreased substantially. Alicia says, I'm so thankful for this amazing product. Look, if you're living with aches and pains, see how Relief Factor, a daily drug-free supplement, can help you feel better and live better. Join the over 1 million people who have turned to Relief Factor just like Alicia. Call now. Try their 3-week quick start. It's only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Don't let pain keep you from living every single day the way you want to live every day. Go to their website, relieffactor.com, or just call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF today.
Life's messy. We're talking spills, stains, pets, and kids. But with Anabae, you never have to stress about messes again. At WashableSofas.com, discover Anabae sofas, the only fully machine-washable sofas inside and out, starting at just $699. Made with liquid and stain-resistant fabrics. That means fewer stains and more peace of mind. Designed for real life, our sofas feature changeable fabric covers, allowing you to refresh your style anytime. Need flexibility? Our modular design lets you rearrange your sofa effortlessly. Perfect for cozy apartments or spacious homes. Plus, they're earth-friendly and built to last. That's why over 200,000 happy customers have made the switch. Upgrade your space today. Visit WashableSofas.com now and bring home a sofa made for life. That's WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
America is back, thanks to President Trump and Leader John Thune's working family tax cuts. No tax on tips or overtime. Real relief for every American up early and home late. And they protected Medicaid for Americans, not illegals. Senate Republicans got President Trump's conservative agenda done. Securing the border, finishing the wall, bringing manufacturing jobs back home, making America great again. Thank Leader John Thune and Senate Republicans for delivering President Trump's agenda.
You know, the old friend Chris Hahn, he is the host of the Aggressive Progressive podcast, and he also was a former aide to U.S. New York Senator Chucky Schumer. How great would it be if Sliwa won? That would be awesome.
You know, he was my radio partner for many years, and I was the regular Kubi fill-in on Curtis and Kubi in New York. So,
I mean,
great. It'd be funny. Think about all.
Kubi's hard to fill in for. He's pretty hardcore. I always liked him.
Yeah, I mean, Curtis is an easy guy to do radio with. He's funny as hell, smart as hell. I would feel bad for New York City people who work at Gracie Mansion because he's going to be bringing his 100 cats with him. if he moves in there.
Yeah, he definitely. I got to get on him about this crazy cat thing. It's not good. That's the only thing I disagree with him on. Anyway, I do appreciate Chris Hahn. Chris, you know deep down in your heart what the right thing is. I give you credit for loyalty, but I can't give you credit for, how you defend it.
Hey, man, we all got to do what we got to do. It's going to be an interesting election. I don't think his victory is guaranteed. And I do think he's got
find out.
His problem with Jewish voters in New York City, and he better fix it, or he can't win.
All right, let's get to our busy phones. Jack is in Long Island, New York. What's up, Jack? How are you? Glad you called, sir.
Hi, Sean. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for calling. What's going on? What part of Long Island are you from?
Blue Point.
Oh, Blue Point. I lived in Bayport, rather, for a while in my life.
I saw you in a local restaurant once, but I didn't want to disturb you. But I saw you.
By the way, let me just get this out of the way, because I find this out from people. Now, people are very, very gracious. Understand, I don't have this microphone without your support. Understand, I don't have that camera at night on the Fox News channel without your support. And people I know are a little hesitant sometimes if they want to come over, get a picture, say hello, whatever. I am giving everybody except crazy left-wing lunatics that hate me permission at any point, wherever I am, come and say hi, shake hands, take a picture, do whatever you want. I'm grateful for your support. So let me just clear the air on all of that so nobody feels bad saying hello. I'm very grateful.
Thank you so much, Sean.
So what's on your mind in Long Island? I grew up in Franklin Square, Long Island.
Sean, I've always admired and respected the deference that you show Trump with regard to your friendship. You never abuse your friendship with Trump. And I think that's wonderful. But I'm asking you to use your influence this time to ask President Trump to do the eulogy for Hulk Hogan. I would love to see President Trump do the eulogy, invite Linda McMahon and Dana White. I would only point to the convention. Could you have asked for a more compelling or impassioned speech that Hulk gave to help Trump get over the finish line? Well, Hulk just crossed the finish line, and we need Trump to help Hulk's family heal from what they've gone through. And I would love to see the president do that. I also have a personal circumstance with my son. He was 5 years old. We're watching Hulk pick a 300-pound guy up and slam him down on the canvas. And my son, he's sitting on my lap, and he looks up at me and he goes, "Hey, Dad, do you think you could beat Hulk Hogan?" And I look back and forth at the TV and my son, and I look at him and I say, "Yeah, I think I could beat him." And my son looks up at me, 5 years old, and he goes, "I think you could beat him too, Dad." My son.
That's pretty good. You know what? I love when life is fun. We don't talk about this enough. There's so much. We always talk about the bad things. We always talk about the stressful things. What about the moments in life when you're bonding with your 5-year-old son over his love of Hulk Hogan and talking about, "Dad, do you think you can take him?" How cool is that? I think back, my son is now 26 years old, but I'll never forget the hours and hours and hours we would spend playing PlayStation. And a lot of people thought it was a bad idea, but I always said, no, it's a great idea, because you really had to think to get to the end of Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights. And for those of you that ever played it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You got to get Scooby snacks, and then it has 13 different layers. It was my 4-year-old son that figured out how to beat the game. And even after he showed me how to beat the game, I still couldn't beat the game, which infuriated me, but in a good way, because I was kind of proud of the fact that he figured it out himself. It's moments like that, people that do entertain us, make us laugh, that have a good time. I'm grateful to all of them, and they use their talent. In his case, he sacrificed his body to do it. I'm sure it took a toll on his health. I have no doubt. I never talked to him about it, but every former professional athlete that I know, especially, if you play any of our gladiator sports, I mean, they're hockey players, football players. I mean, they get beaten up pretty bad. And usually they end up with lifelong injuries, and those joints don't work like they did when they were kids, and they're getting knee replacements and hip replacements and shoulder replacements. And they're out there to entertain all of us. And we love great champions, and we love our fighters on the field and on the ring, in the rink, and every other sport. So, I have a rule that I don't ask President Trump for any favors. I have to do my job, so I ask for interviews.
Well, we are so lucky to have Trump, because we were about to go off the cliff, and Trump has rescued us from that. And it's amazing how badly they've abused him for 10 years now. He is not only the most powerful man on earth, he's also the toughest. Look what he's gone through. And back to the moment with my son, we are our children's protector. And I convinced my son that I'm the strongest daddy in the world, just like you did when your children were babies. And that's our job as their fathers. We have to have fatherhood come back. Fatherhood has to come back. The women are doing great jobs, but we need fatherhood to come back. And that,
we need fathers and mothers. We just do. I mean, and I couldn't agree with you more. You know, I actually thought that, you know, once my kids graduate college, that most of my job was done. I couldn't have been more wrong. I find that at this stage in their life, and I'm very proud of both of them, both my kids, and they're great kids. And I'm not going to get into what they do, but they're very successful at what they do. And I'm grateful they didn't choose the public arena. I really am. Because I wouldn't want them to go through half of what I've gone through. Never mind, you know, it's a level, a dimension I can't even comprehend of what Donald Trump's been through. But I'm glad that there are people that go through it. But yeah, I mean, the good news is you go through this period. You know, it's great when kids are toddlers. It's great when they're really young. It's incredible stages. Then you hit this age, I don't know, 13, 14, 15, 16, whatever it is. And then your kid's like the last person they want to hang out with is you. And then they go off to college, and then they come home, and then guess what? The dream is what's happened in my case. They become your best friend. And I love that part of it. But you're also a parent, and you'll give them advice and counsel, whether they want it or not. And they'll roll their eyes when I tell them what it was like when I grew up. But there's, you know, all of it's really special. I'll put it that way. Well, anyway, my friend, I'm going to move on. I could talk to you all day. You're the best. Have a great day. 800-941-SEAN if you want to be a part of the program. Austin, he's in Missouri. Why did I had one aunt that referred to Missouri as Missouri. Missouri. To me, it's Missouri. It's always been Missouri.
Yeah, we call it misery, but you can call it Missouri.
You call it misery? I mean, you got two good senators from there.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, I know them personally, but it's hot out here. It's miserable. No, but actually, thanks for taking my call. I grew up watching you and Alan Combs back in the day when I was 8 years old. You know, I don't know any other 8-year-old watching Alan Combs and Hannity, but no, you
know, I'm getting that more and more in my life, and I don't know whether to take that as a compliment or like, man, I got to look in the mirror a little more deeply. I'm getting old.
Yeah, I know. You're good. I appreciate your service.
You know what the thing is, that I love doing what I do, and I don't even think about doing anything else. Linda keeps saying, well, there's all this online chatter. Is Hannity going to run for president? I don't even know where this came from. It didn't come from me.
I'll be your first vote.
Oh, my goodness. Don't know you're encouraging her. Stop. Don't encourage her.
Yeah, well, and I'll be quick. I know you got other guests, but I regarding the Obamagate, I don't see any accountability happening with this. Nothing happened with Hillary, with Fauci. You know, it seems like once you step out of Congress and into the executive branches, you become untouchable. I mean, unless you're a Republican like Trump, you know, the Democratic Party, they seem like they're so powerful that they can get away with literally everything. I want to know, honestly, Sean, I want to know what your expectations are out of this, because if we continue going down this path with no standards, no accountability, it's going to continue to happen.
I am telling you right now, and I do agree with Jonathan Turley, that Brennan and maybe a couple of others, you know, Brennan now is officially lawyered up as he should. But if we don't hold these people accountable for abusing power in these spectacular ways, then we're just going to continue to have more of it. You know, what I really want and hope for with the intelligence community and with the FBI. They used to be the world's premier law enforcement and intelligence agencies. I want to restore them to their former greatness. And I'm not saying that we haven't had moments, go back to the church committee or go back to J. Edgar Hoover. One of the reasons I've not talked about the MLK files that were released. Are you even aware they were released this week?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One of the reasons is I don't like how the FBI treated MLK Jr. I think they used many of the same tactics that they used against Donald Trump. Illegal wiretapping and spying on him and putting cameras in hotel rooms. And they did get information. And that information is pretty salacious. And I've known about this for some time. But I'm sorry, I feel like it was gotten in a nefarious way. Therefore, I don't think it's fair to him, his memory, the good work he did in his life. Nobody's perfect. And his family, for them to go through that. And I support the family in what they're saying, which is, they didn't want it released. It had to be released. If you have it, you release it. But I agree with them that, considering the circumstances under which some of this material was gotten, I believe, personally, my view, violating his rights, this has to stop or it will continue. Anyway, my friend, God bless you. Get some get in the air conditioner while the heat's blazing over there in Missouri today. Back to our phones. Let us go to Jack in South Carolina. What's up, Jack? How are you?
Hi, Sean. I know we all want transparency. I say everybody's begging for it. I go back to Watergate hearings. That's how old I am. And I've watched Benghazi and Oliver North and you name it. And it's a bunch of grandstanding. It's a bunch of speeches. And the only thing they can do in a Congress is do a referral. And now we got Gabbard, God bless her, and she's making all these press conferences about what she's doing as a referral. Why don't we just stop hyping us up, getting our expectations up, send this stuff to a grand jury, and let's hear about the indictments and be done with it.
Well, remember, the one person that they actually brought all this to fruition for was all based on, a bunch of lies and phony arguments was Donald Trump. So it has come to fruition, number one. Number two, you're right. They often overpromise, underdeliver. And you're right. People that have done wrong have gotten away with wrong things. And you're right. Expectations sometimes are set too high. As of right now, we see that they corrupted the intelligence on purpose. Right now, it was referred to the Department of Justice. Right now, there's a strike force that has been formed. Right now, there's a grand conspiracy investigation within the FBI as it relates to the 10 years of Trump. So you're right on every front. And my hope is that all the pieces are in place and that this time will be different. I'm not guaranteeing that. As a matter of fact, I'm worried as you are. But, we can't, we've got to try. I'll go to one of my favorite scenes in Braveheart. What we've been doing these 3 years, we got to try. You got to try. And we got to try our best. And we have a responsibility to our country and our children and the rule of law. And not trying is not an alternative. I got to run, my friend. I do appreciate your call. Every one of you, please. All right, that's going to wrap things up for today. Hannity tonight, 9 Eastern on the Fox News channel. The definitive hour on one of the biggest scandals, certainly bigger than Watergate in our lifetime, with the release of these declassified documents. We'll check in with Senator Tom Cotton, John Solomon, Greg Jarrett, Kimberly Strassel, Senator Marsha Blackburn, Trey Gowdy, Hugh Hewitt, and thank me, God bless us, the great one, Mark Levin. All happening tonight, 9 Eastern. Set your DVR. Fox News. See you tonight. Back here on Monday. Have a great weekend.
America is back, thanks to President Trump and Leader John Thune's working family tax cuts. No tax on tips or overtime. Real relief for every American up early and home late. And they protected Medicaid for Americans, not illegals. Senate Republicans got President Trump's conservative agenda done. Securing the border, finishing the wall, bringing manufacturing jobs back home, making America great again. Thank Leader John Thune and Senate Republicans for delivering President Trump's agenda.
This is an iHeart podcast.